We knew that the clients were really driven to do something very modern. That was very exciting to us, but at the same time we were having to think we've got to do something that's going to work here, it's actually going to be permissible, and it can't just stand out like a sore thumb. It has to have something that works with the landscape and is responsive and sensitive to the existing setting. The existing house was just in the wrong place, and it just didn't seem to take advantage of any of the properties of the site in any way. It didn't take advantage of the view or the light or anything else, and the garden didn't really connect to the rest of the site very meaningfully. Ultimately, the client made the call and they said, look, I think we're happy to consider taking the house down and starting again. I think they were just ready for a great big change. They were kind of really open to the idea of more open plan and so on. I think there's a lot of clients that seem to be quite surprised that we would start off looking at the wider landscape. We started designing with this, well, how do we enclose this garden? Can we create the idea of a sort of formal, informal garden with a sort of, so when you arrive, you're faced with a dry stone, Cotswold stone wall that you kind of break through, and it almost feels as though you're going into an old wall garden. But it'd be lovely if that was sort of linked and connected in at least design principles way with the rest of the house. Such a delightful landscape there to make the best of, that or to pick out the best elements of, that we worked hard to work with that, with the landscape right from the beginning. We were conscious of not just sort of overwhelming the design with glazing. You know, it's so lovely if you can just create little moments where you focus the view, you know, channel a view, or pick out a little moment. So from a distance you're standing at one end of the house and you look through and you just see a little focused moment that just picks out a little key thing in the landscape. And because it's their existing art collection was a major sort of starting point for the design, and we spent some time going around their existing collection, you know, with a tape measure, did an audit of their collection, sizing paintings up, and we had a sort of schedule of their paintings. And as we started doing layout designs and interior elevations and so on, we had to think, well, where would this picture go? Where would that picture go? We knew that their ambition was for a very kind of modern, clean living space. And so whenever we're designing a space like that, we're always conscious that it's very important to provide a significant amount of back of house service space, so you can keep the general detritus of life slightly sort of out of sight. But actually, in the end, we ended up creating quite a big pantry space off the kitchen. There was quite a lot of tension in the design about sort of openness and glazing, and then still trying to retain privacy. There were little games that we had to do to make sure that things are open and glazed, but you're not kind of standing in your birthday suit in your bedroom, kind of in full sight or anything like that. So it's quite brave in its location. And as you come up into the village, you know, it has a certain presence, but it's got a sort of a strength and a quality in it that's very kind of confident and crisp and clean, and I think it works really quite successfully.